Oh, man, are we having fun around here, right? It is another day. It's another Guns and Gear shoot here. We're on the set of Guns and Gear, shooting this for, of course, Season 8. Visiting with some of our friends who've been cycling in. We have different gun companies coming in. And by the way, if you'd like to see this, obviously you're hearing this on the radio or the podcast, but you can go check it out. Go to our YouTube website, or our channel, if you will, on YouTube, and you can see it because we're shooting this in the studio. It's kind of cool, actually. I'm kind of proud of the thing. We have Dave Miles from Mossberg is with us. Matt Craighead from Crossbreed Holsters is with us. Hey, guys.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Tom. How are you?
So we've been having fun. We've been abusing and using you throughout the morning here. As you stand here and have to deliver on the set.
We've survived.
You have survived. Well, you brought goodies, and we've had, I wish that people could see the conversations that happen when we're not in front of the camera. You know what I mean? Because we talk about, well, people say, what do you got? We talk about guns and shooting and stuff, don't we?
That's my favorite subject.
No kidding. So, Dave, you got a long background in this industry. You've been at NSSF. Of course, as part of that whole thing. We've worked together for a long time, actually. You know, we produce videos for them and do a lot of other things. Never seen a time like this before in terms of both interest in buying guns, but also the innovation that's going on from gun makers. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. It's amazing how the market has changed, and we're trying to keep up. If you kind of think about it.
Really, that's what I hear from everybody. We're trying to keep up.
Yep.
Both in quantity, but also in innovation.
In the products we bring to the market. Mossberg knows that the Mossberg 500, for example, has been around since 1960s.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't have one, right?
Exactly. And yet there's different things you want to put on your Mossberg. So one of the big innovations we've had recently was the Mossberg Flex system. Mm-hmm. And it allows you with a couple pieces of equipment that you can put on your gun, and we're selling it as a conversion kit now.
It's the Mossberg Transformer.
Yeah, it is. You can. It's Legos for adults. And,
exactly. You swap out. Let's see, forearms, stocks. Put different kind of stocks on it. You can put, of course, obviously you can swap out the barrel links and all of that. But the cool part is, it's not like you have to get out your tools.
No, it's all toolless. You can do it with your. I mean, you can convert a gun from one that's ready to go out in the duck blind, come home, change the barrel, and put a pistol grip on it and a tactical forend that houses your lights and your lasers, and put it in the closet, and that'll take you about 2 minutes.
I was going to say, if you take your time, it would take you 2 minutes. Yep. You know, I've seen you do it. You could do it in a minute.
I can, maybe faster.
Maybe faster than that. Exactly.
I'm going to get the shot clock.
There you go. Get your shot clock out and do that. Speaking of which, you're actually on your way to a 3-gun shoot, aren't you?
I am. I'm this afternoon I'm driving to Shreveport to go over to Shootout Lane, and I'll spend the weekend shooting the Babes with Bullets 3-gun match. And they're nice enough to let some guys come and play too. But it's a big deal. The Mitchlick family, Kay Mitchlick and Deb Fern, started the Babes with Bullets program.
Right.
And they host an annual 3-gun match, and so I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. I've got my AR, my handgun, my JM Pro shotgun.
JM Pro standing for?
Jerry Mitchlick.
Jerry Mitchlick, there you go.
It's a Mossberg shotgun that we make for 3-gun, and so
it's a pretty cool rig. I got to return to that in a minute because you got a great story about modifications. We'll put it that way. We'll get to that. But Matt, I got to ask you. We've been looking at all your stuff. When we first started working together some years ago, you guys were like 5 to 7 people in a garage making a few holsters, right?
That we were. We were basically a garage environment. My brother started the company in his garage.
Right.
And basically he moved out of his garage into a rented warehouse. 5 people, maybe 8, mostly part-time.
Right.
Just to help him finish up what he needed to do to get out.
Just making a few holsters.
Just making a few holsters for friends.
Yeah, that's the way it always starts. I made this thing and I like it. Then your buddy says, hey, could you make one of those for me? And before you know it, you're making it for your friends. And now it's completely out of control, man.
And we try to rein back and control this beast. Yes, it is a beast. We're just short of 50 employees now. We moved
50 employees.
50 employees, believe it or not. We are working nonstop, tirelessly. We moved.
No, actually, I think they're pretty tired.
Well, yes. Well, we have a great group of guys. Everybody works together. Everybody jives together. You never hear the phrase, "That's not my job."
Right.
Everybody works in every part together. We are actually one big happy family. We're better than a team. We have a lot of family. We'll have a lot of friends.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a home environment.
Well, I told you over breakfast today, there's not a month that goes by that I don't get more than one email from somebody that says, "Hey, I just want to tell you about this fabulous experience I had with Crossbreed holsters. I had an issue with a holster, called them, they took care of it, or I had a question, they took care of it, or I needed something, and you guys simply take care of your customers."
That is our whole goal. That's Miss Carol and Mark's. That is Miss Carol and Mark's main thing. Customers come first. Without our customers, I think a lot of industries, and I've run into this before with other people situations, they forget without the customers,
you don't have a business.
We don't have a business.
Yeah.
So customers do come first.
But also, okay, you say that, but the real thing that's going on here is that you guys are just nice people. You're friendly people. You wouldn't be rude to somebody anyway, whether it was business or not.
We really, most everybody there is down home people. Home people.
You're in southern Missouri, kind of in the shadow of Bass Pro Shop right there in the Springfield area.
Bass Pro Shop, right there in Springfield. It's a great place to be. We have a lot of gun industry around there.
Right.
Fiocchi's down the road. There's a lot more going on in that part of the world than people really realize.
Okay, you started off making a few holsters. Do you have any idea how many different model holsters you guys make now?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, look at that.
To tell you honestly, Tom, I could think of over a dozen right off the top of my head. And
yeah, but how many, if you talk about that, and then how many guns?
Oh,
you're probably looking at several hundred.
Several hundred. Actually, just for the Super Tuck alone, the other day I was on the list looking, and I think we have like 425 different, what we would call a SKU.
Mm-hmm.
And if you put all the different pistol lasers, with the leathers,
lights, lasers,
some lasers, leathers, combat cuts, I think there's over 1,200 different options just for a Super Tuck Deluxe.
Holy cow.
And I remember 8 years ago we maybe had 25.
Not bad for a garage business.
Not bad for my little brother's garage business.
There you go. Hey, guys, hold on a second here. When we come back, Dave, you got to tell the story of what happens when somebody decides they're going to modify your shotgun to make it better. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way. We'll be right back with more gun talk. All right, back with you. So what happens when somebody takes this finely crafted firearm that you have made and decides, well, I can make it better? And Dave, I mean, it's true that some people do mod things up and they get better and they do things to them, but you can take a good thing too far, right?
Oh, absolutely. Well, I think everybody's got to make their firearm their own.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to shoot a gun in competition, you need to make it work for you.
Sure.
But sometimes people take it a little too far.
Okay, so they get the Mossberg fabulous, shotgun that you guys make.
Yep. And they take a Dremel tool to it. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, because I've taken a Dremel tool to mine, too.
Could be okay.
Yep.
Just depends on if you know what you're doing.
There's a point where you can go too far.
Right. And there is a point of no recovery.
Yep.
Where you go, okay, I took too much off, I can't put it back on.
No, you can't put stuff back in once you've taken it away. So just a word of caution to everybody that if you start using that Dremel tool on the loading port to make it a little bit faster to load,
there's a pin in there that needs to be there.
And things can go bad real fast. So
yeah. So everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation. My suggestion always is to take it to a competent gunsmith who knows how far he can go, because he's already gone too far once or twice.
Well, then you got people like Jerry Mitchelluk, who that's what he does. He mods things up.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, the guy knows what he's doing, too.
Yes, he does. And Jerry's funny. We had a meeting with him recently, and we were talking to our engineering team. And he goes, "I'm not an engineer, but I do have a Dremel tool." And
that's a bumper sticker right there.
Absolutely. But he knows how to make our guns run great, and certainly has the talent to do it. So But the things, the innovations that come from our partnership with Jerry are amazing. And having it involved and having his pretty skilled Dremel tool on our team is a pleasure.
We talked earlier about the idea that 3-gun in certain ways is like NASCAR is, in that that's where guns get torture tested and also where modifications are made. And some of those improvements end up making their way down to the guns that you guys sell or on the shelves.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 3-gun especially, the JM Pro has come a long way over the years as we've worked with Jerry and identified some issues, fixed those issues, and we continue to improve the gun.
And the only way to know that there are issues is to test them to failure.
Yes,
absolutely. You just got to shoot a gazillion rounds through them.
Yep, and if you're shooting the JM Pro and you're changing the length of your magazine tube and that, there's a balance. There's the spring that you put in. You can't take the full-length spring that came with your Nordic Components tube, throw it in, and screw it on, load up the tube, and start shooting your first match. You always got to go to the range and test. And a lot of times people leave that spring a little too long. You'll end up with too much pressure on your shell stop.
Right.
And the gun won't work properly.
So. People don't understand the subtleties, the things that are going on. I mean, the spring pressure in a magazine tube, those cartridges, those shot shells in there are actually bouncing. So you need a spring that will keep them where they need to be, but if it's too strong, as you say, now it actually won't let the mechanism work. And so how do you know? Well, you try it, right?
You have to balance it. Sometimes you cut the spring too short. You can't add
another
to it,
spring.
so you got to get another spring.
It never happens when you're cutting leather, does it?
Just once or twice, yeah.
Yeah.
We always tell customers, like the perfect example is the combat cut. It's where we trim away on the super tuck to make it more grip friendly.
So you can really get a good grip on your gun before it comes out of the holster.
The thing we tell customers, we can do that for you. Send it in for $10. We do that for you, and we mail it back. Then we combat cut it correctly for the pistol. We've had a lot of customers that have tried it on their own, and once they cut that leather away, it's gone.
It's gone. Yeah, you're not putting it back. Do they then send them back to you and say, here?
Yes, we actually have a program. Yeah, we get a lot of them in. We get a lot of holsters in lots of different conditions. And the customer says, I have a new puppy. That's always our favorite, is we have a new puppy.
Because they like leather, like to chew.
They love leather, and I mean, they can do damage. And we do have different programs that we work with customers.
So they've got a bin over in the corner. That's the puppy bin, Just toss it in.
Bin,
and Dave being a dog guy, and I know Dave loves dogs, but you know all about
I could show you guys my wallet. It still has the impressions of my dog that's now almost 11 years old from when she was a puppy. I guess I need a new wallet, but it's hard to get rid of those.
But it's a great dog, so what are you going to do? It's and I know, Dave, you've been out to gun site and you've done various kinds of shooting. We were talking earlier. Now that Crossbreed's got these belts, the whole idea of, and I've talked about this before, and people, I know it sounds mundane. It's a belt. People go, well, it's a belt. I already have a belt. I have several belts. They go, yeah, but you don't have a gun belt.
Oh yeah. The first day at class in a 250 course at gun site. I think half the class goes into the pro shop to buy a belt because they came with a belt that they thought was sufficient, but it's not. You need a belt that's designed to hold your holster.
You need a gun belt.
You need a gun belt, yes.
I mean, and people go, well, I got a wide belt. I don't care. It's not thick enough. It's not stiff enough. I mean, you were describing, it's not just even that it's thick, it's that the grain goes two different ways for the two different kinds of leather.
That's correct. Our belts, we use two different, and that's what we call 7-ounce. When we run it through a splitter, so everything is uniform. So this belt will be uniform all the way through.
Okay.
And then we take a 7-ounce with grain running one way, and then we use a fine premium backer, and the grain running the opposite way. And then we go ahead and, we've got a process we use to industrially bond those two pieces together. And then we'll cut them, burnish them, and stitch them. And I tell you what, I've wore one of these for, oh my gosh, my one belt's almost 6 years old, and it looks rough. But it is still, it's got dog marks on it too.
So,
yeah.
Perfect.
Dogs love leather. But
that's right. I love it.
A good belt will make every day, all day carry worth the effort. It supports the weight evenly around your body, and it will take even a heavy pistol. It'll make a world of difference. It just,
and I have people say, well, it's just uncomfortable to carry a gun. And then you start kind of going through the whole process, and you realize if you don't have a good belt, yes, it's liable to be uncomfortable to wear a gun. If you have a good belt, same deal like with your holsters, distributes that weight out, keeps it from rocking out away from your body. And frankly, there's a security thing involved here, because if your holster's flopping around, no telling what's going to happen to your gun. But yeah, I could just see the people at the gun site. You get the whole line up there, and after the first day or half day, people are going, and of course, the instructors there are pointed, but they're kind. And it's kind of like, after a while, you get the message, yeah, this is a pretty junky piece of belt we got here. I'll go put down my plastic. I'm going to get me a good belt here.
That might have been a little more PC than you might hear.
Yes. I think they probably would explain it more clearly.
Yes, much more clearly.
Much more clearly. Exactly that. Oh, man. So, Dave, you've been hunting?
I've been hunting. I was in Oklahoma earlier this month.
Yeah.
And,
turkeys?
Turkeys.
Yeah.
Rios. Had a great hunt. It was a media hunt, so we were showing off our shotguns.
Right.
And we had some pump action 12 gauges, some semi-auto 12 gauges, and some 20 gauges. And it was...
now, 20 gauge for turkey. Talk to me about that.
20 gauge for turkey was... you definitely have to spend some time on the patterning board. You got to know your effective range.
Right.
It's not... You don't shoot... You can shoot at turkeys at 60 yards, but they'll just kind of give you a dirty look and run away.
They're not impressed.
No, they are not impressed.
Okay.
But you have to know what distance you can have, what your effective range with your gun is.
Sure.
Same with a 12 gauge.
Right.
But 20 gauge is definitely. I mean, the ammo companies are making today.
Yes.
Is impressive.
It is light years ahead of what we had 10 or 20 years ago.
Oh yeah, and it's the same. It's the NASCAR analogy. It's people. The ammo companies have been competing at the National Wild Turkey Federation's World Still Target Championship.
Once again, and, competition.
The competition has driven innovation. It's done it with turkey guns. That competition actually helped us realize that you don't need a 28-inch barrel to shoot a tight pattern.
No.
We've developed guns. We have 20-inch turkey guns now.
That's such an old wives' tale, but it's still out there. Long barrels for tight chokes. Mm-hmm. And the length of the barrel quite literally has nothing to do with the pattern size.
No.
It's all about the choke. But we have, fair enough to say, we have much better chokes and choke tubes than we had in the past?
Much better chokes, better choke tubes, and better powders. So you don't need the full length of the barrel to get up to velocity either.
True.
And so you've got better the shot shells are just overall better. The way they handle the shot from the acceleration of the shot pattern. You don't crush your BBs, which makes them deform and
they
spread out.
They have flyers.
It's amazing. We were shooting that 20 gauge at the target, and at 35 yards, we were just, annihilating the center of the.
Well, and of course, the other thing is for turkey hunting, you're really shooting a shotgun as though it's a rifle. So a short barrel is maneuverable in tight places. Mm-hmm. You're not having to swing through like you do with wing shooting, where a longer barrel helps you, of course, continue your swing. Because when you stop your swing, you are going to miss, as we know only too well. And I'm a kind of a perfectionist on that. I like to perfect by stopping the swing move. Mm-hmm. So, it's built-in alibi there.
It's always good to stop the gun.
It's always good to stop the gun.
That way you can watch yourself miss the target better.
Right. That way you can look up and go, there it goes.
But I agree. With turkey hunting, it's very important that you have the gun stopped, stationary, and it stays that way through the trigger pull. Because one of the guys we were shooting with, and after a few turkey loads, when you're shooting a turkey load at paper, it'll ring your bell.
It's pretty good recoil.
And so you can get recoil sensitive.
Right.
And so one of the guys on our hunt, I put him through our...
Go ahead.
I put him through our one of my favorite drills when I'm working on trigger press, and that is keep looking at the target and have somebody else load your gun. And so you load the gun, and sometimes it's got a shell, sometimes it doesn't.
And if it goes click and you flinch, then you know, right?
It tells you that you're doing something wrong.
All right, hold on a second, guys. We'll take a quick break here. When we come back, talk with Matt Craighead from Crossbreed Holsters, Dave Miles from Mossberg. We're having fun on the set of Guns and Gear. Oh gosh, we're having a lot of fun around here. We're just talking guns and shooting and all sorts of stuff. Who knows? Turkeys and deer and pretty much everything. We're sitting here with Dave Miles from Mossberg, Matt Craighead from Crossbreed Holsters. Thanks, guys, for being with us. This is fun, isn't it?
Absolutely. Thanks, Tom.
We've been shooting TV on the set here. We're on the set of Guns and Gear, having a bunch of fun. Usually we don't do radio in front of cameras, so this is a little bit different deal. But I did like the fact that we can just sit here and yak and play with the toys. You got them all laid out here on the table, and it's kind of cool. Dave, during the break, you were telling me this great story about one of those epiphany things that you had happen at gun site. What happened?
Well, I was towards the end of your class, you shoot school drills, and you shoot for score. And, of course, because there's a score involved, performance becomes part of your mindset.
Now you really start paying attention.
Yeah, you're not worried about tactical taping and covering up the bad holes before the instructor comes by. Now you want to, you're shooting for score and you want to make sure you do it right. Well, I can shoot a headshot at 3 yards, and I was missing every one of them during the school drill. And
right.
Finally, I just said, I don't understand this. There's something wrong with me because I cannot hit this head right now.
I mean, any given day, you could make this shot, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All day long. And the instructor kind of laughed when he watched me shoot the next one. He said, your problem is that you're peeking to see if you hit it.
Instead of staying on the
Instead of
sight.
just shooting the gun.
Yeah.
And so
your head's coming up.
Oh, yeah.
You're looking at the target.
Yep.
Yeah, simple as that. And I was saying that one of the drills that I know that good instructors will do with that is they'll actually put a T-shirt over the cardboard target and have you shoot it. Now you can't see your bullet holes, so there's only one place for your eyes to go, which is to your sights. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden you shoot well. The value of an instructor?
Immeasurable. Getting good instruction is critically important because you can't always diagnose your issues without somebody looking at you.
Well, you guys do the same thing with Gil and Vicki Ash.
Oh, absolutely.
You've been working with them, two of the very best wing shooting instructors.
Oh, yeah, and they will actually, when you work with them, they'll change the way you shoot. I'd been shooting a shotgun for 20 years and not bad at shooting a shotgun.
Right.
And after one day on the Sporting Clays course with Gil and Vicki, I found out that I didn't know how to shoot a shotgun until that day.
Right.
And totally different way of doing it. The onboard computer is what Gil calls it. Your brain is the one that decides what the lead needs to be on the bird, and you got to let your brain take control.
So what they do is they program the brain ahead of time.
Yeah.
This is what it should look like. This is when you should be shooting. And then you have to get out of the way and let your brain work.
Exactly. And they've got this incredible website.
The online instruction they have, and I'm not kidding, it's groundbreaking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what you look at it, you go, oh, now I understand how to break that target. I get it now.
And this will blow you away, Tom, because you produce videos, but it's your living. Gil will be posting, they post 100 videos a week on the Knowledge Vault.
Incredible.
And it's at ospschool.com, and you can check out the Knowledge Vault. They have some introductory videos. It's a subscription-based system.
But if you want to be a better wing shooter, you can do it through these videos.
Yeah.
You really can.
And it'll change your world. It'll change... for somebody who's been shooting, and I shot low 90s on a Sporting Clays course in competition, and so it wasn't like I didn't ever have success at shooting a clay target.
Right.
But it totally changed my world for how I break a target now.
Amazing stuff. It really is. Just something else. Tell you what, hey, Matt, I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk to you about holsters, belts, and the systems and what that has meant in terms of changes you've seen in the marketplace. With now we hear that a third of the women, or a third of the people getting their concealed carry permits are women, and how that works out. Okay?
You betcha.
All right, we'll do that when we come back. Be right back with more gun talk. All right, during the break, Dave told me something, reminded me. We were talking about Gil and Vicki Ash and their incredible online instruction. You actually have a program where people can take advantage of that when they get one of your shotguns.
Oh, yeah. Our new 930 Sporting model, the Pro Series Sporting from Mossberg, comes with 2 months of training. I like to call it a coach in the box. The gun was designed in conjunction with Gil and Vicki so that it's a gun that's set up for Sporting Clays, ready to go right out of the box.
Right.
And in the box, there's a card that drives them to a website where they can sign up, and when they do that, they get 2 months of training on the Knowledge Vault. The Knowledge Vault is a subscription-based, so there's some real value there.
So you can spend a lot of time watch a lot of videos in 2 months.
Oh, yeah, and when you watch those videos, what Gil says, watch it set up on this, show people how to break the target. And you're actually training. You can just watch the videos on the Knowledge Vault, and you're teaching your eyes what you're supposed to see when you break a target.
That's what the athletes tell us. They say pre-visualization, they sit there and they're making the run down the mountain, or they're doing says, in your mind, that is exactly the same as having actually gone out and done it. Mm-hmm. You have put all that into your brain. So when you go out, you go, yeah, okay, this is a crossing target. I know what I'm supposed to do. I've actually broken that target 100 times while I was watching the videos.
Exactly.
Very cool. Matt, got to ask you, we're hearing now that a third of the people getting their concealed carry permits are women. Women have, frankly, challenges on carrying, where they carry, how they carry, all of that. And I know you guys are certainly running into that. So
we've run into that. We've addressed that a little bit. We've got the women's appendix out. It's cut just a little bit different.
Okay.
We use just a little bit different leather. It's mostly for smaller pistols that the women prefer. But it fits smaller framed women very versatilely. We are working on another one coming out hopefully this summer for some of the next step up of small carry pistols for women.
Right.
But a woman's body is just a little bit different. So we there's
praise the Lord.
Yes, sir. And so there's different challenges there, and we've been working on that. The women's appendix has been a hit. A couple of the guys.
So that would be wearing in front appendix carry with probably just a shirt out, wearing jeans or slacks or whatever.
With jeans with a slack. And that's for on body. We've got several off body carries. A lot of women, believe it or not, still don't like to carry on body.
Sure, I understand. And they want to put it in the purse or something.
So we've got the purse defender out. We've had it out a couple of years now.
And that's a cool system.
It has been very, very popular with ladies.
And that works in any purse. That's the whole deal.
It works in any purse, yes. And it's very universal. Women like to change purses a lot. Right. So this just switches with their handbag. It just switches with their handbag.
Okay. Sounds great. I mean, do you get a lot of feedback from women buying? I mean, are they asking about it now? I mean, just kind of curious what you're hearing.
We do get a lot of feedback. Believe it or not, a lot of women are wanting to move into larger pistols. So we've addressed that.
Are they starting with the small pistols and then moving up?
Yes, we have had. I've noticed that a lot. Is women start with the small pistols? Everybody tells them, "Oh, this is too big for you. Oh, this is too big for you." My wife can shoot a 1911 just as easy as I can. As a matter of fact, she shoots a 1911 better than she does a SIG 238 or 938.
Wow.
Those little guns are tough to shoot.
They are. Well, they're little guns are experts' guns. Mm-hmm. I mean, the truth of it is, if give somebody a full size 9, and you can really get them started out right.
Yes, and perfect example. The grip zone on the Springfield XD Mod 2 is perfect for my wife's hands. She really likes that. That's probably a gun we'll move her into down the road, that way I can have my 45 back. But ulterior motives, yes.
Now we're starting to understand here.
So thoughtful.
Matt wants his 1911 back.
Yeah. Here, honey, here's your new Christmas present. Look what I got you. But I'm not going to have my gun back. But the women's market is out there. It is growing. We have belts that are more designed for women now. We've got a couple of clips that are more designed for women now, because a lot of women's pants don't accept belts.
Oh, sure.
So if you go to the website and look for a product called Utility Clip, it'll go over the pants and snap on.
Actually, just clips onto the pants.
It clips onto
so you don't have to be wearing a belt.
You don't have to be wearing a belt. And it works very well. It's kind of designed for the small holsters and the small pistols. It works very well for women with that.
Right. And Dave, we've been talking in the past about using a 20 gauge for your home defense gun, and 12 gauge defense guns, well, they kick a lot.
Yeah, they do.
And there's, and a lot of women say, I want a shotgun, and not just women, anybody who wants to have a home defense gun, there's nothing wrong with a 20 gauge.
20 gauge has the same things that make a 12 gauge shotgun great for home defense 20 gauge has just about everything that you need, maybe with a little less punch in the shoulder.
Because you're not shooting long range.
No, you're not.
I mean, you're inside room distances here.
You're close range. An ounce of shot is just as good as an ounce of an eighth of shot.
Right.
But there is less recoil that's going to be more comfortable to shoot.
Which means you're liable to go out and practice with it and not get beat up, and now you hate this gun because it hurt you when you went out and shot it.
Yep.
So and one of the things you guys do, which is very cool, is you make stocks of different lengths, and you get a shorter, petite woman. A full-size shotgun is not. It's not correct, but it's not fun to shoot.
Yep, and even you don't need a full-length stock on a home defense gun.
Actually,
in the first place.
You shouldn't have.
Yeah,
exactly. Not because it's a different kind of shooting.
It is very much. You're much more likely to be squared up to the target. There's no reason to have a 14-inch length of pull.
Good point.
On your home defense shotgun. We have our Super Bantams and adjustable length of pull. Shortest length is 12. You can put a spacer in. It's 13. It's a great basic gun, which was perfect for home defense,
right,
and also for hunting. So that's a good choice. One of the things we've seen at Mossberg is that recoil sensitivity is impacting the tactical shooting market. So that's why we came out with the 8-shot 20-gauge home defense guns. We even have a 410 home defense.
Sure. Well, and the recoil sensitivity in the tactical market is probably because people actually go out and shoot and try this. And there's something about shooting at a static target with a shotgun where you feel the recoil more than when you do at a flying target.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay.
And also people like to shoot those brutal 1.25 ounce slugs because they want to see their friend's expression when they shoot them.
I've done that. I don't like to shoot that stuff. Those things hurt on both ends,
Low recoil slugs.
Low recoil. That's
highly recommended.
We have low recoil loads these days.
You don't need to have the gun hurt you.
All right, question for you, Dave. People still ask, pump or semi-auto? Is a semi-auto from the old days? Mm-hmm. Semi-autos are not reliable. Blah 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 blah. You guys make both.
I guess I'll revert back to my gun sight training, and for home defense, for me, you'll still see me with a pump gun.
Okay.
I want to know that so many things can go wrong with a gun that if I have a bad. Even if I had just a misfire, maybe I had a
bad round.
Didn't go bang when I pulled the trigger.
Right.
With my pump gun, I just go chunk chunk and I'm back in the fight.
Fresh round.
Yeah. With a semi-auto, you're going to have to rack the slide, and so for me, I'm still a pump guy for home defense.
Right.
But on a 3-gun match, I'm shooting a JM Pro.
Yeah, there's nothing like a gas-operated automatic to help. If you're going to shoot a lot, it soaks up that recoil, and keeps you on target. I think.
Yes.
So I'm all about that.
But I'm still a pump guy for my bedroom gun is a pump action.
How about ducks?
For ducks, it really depends. For the most part, I shoot 930. I actually shoot my JM Pro. I put a longer barrel in it. And
No
I go
kidding.
Out and shoot.
Why not?
So
you shoot it well anyway. Take it out and do it, right?
I don't have the extended magazine tube.
No, unless
3 shots is all you're allowed.
Unless it's that conservation season
snow goose season.
For snow geese, exactly. Yep. All right, hold on, guys. We'll take a quick break here. We're on the set of Guns and Gear. We're having a bunch of fun here. This is Gun Talk. I'm Tom Gresham. Check it out, guntalk.com, and our YouTube channel also. All right, back with you here. We were just in the break talking about this. Of course, we have this upcoming election, guys. What'd you say, Dave, about gun owners?
I cannot understand how any gun owner could possibly vote for somebody that doesn't support their rights.
So what you're really talking about is you couldn't vote. I think we can agree. It's going to be Hillary Clinton, right? On that side. I don't think Bernie has a chance. Mm-mm. So, I've been with the ABC crowd, anybody but Clinton, because if you're a gun owner, she simply says, we're going to reinstitute bans. We are going to do away with the Heller decision. And the Heller decision simply said this: individuals have a right to own guns. She says, you don't. That's pretty clear.
I was always amazed by, before the Heller decision, there was always this intellectually dishonest argument that I'd hear from people that says, well, the Second Amendment only grants those powers to the militia.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't think that the Bill of Rights was about a collective.
No, it says the people.
Yeah.
Exactly. Matt, you're in the middle of the country. You're, flyover country, if you will.
We're in flyover country.
Yeah.
You betcha.
But people there got to be talking about the election, and from a gun owner standpoint, that's got to be kind of like the first test you apply to any candidate.
Oh, it would be. I like your phrase, the ABC. I like the ABC method. It is scary, the lack of information, true information, that is out there.
Right.
People are taking what they're being told as face value. They're not doing their homework.
That's a great point. They're just accepting what the media is feeding them.
They're accepting they said this last night on TV, and it's like, okay, now go research what they just told you. Do your homework. Do your due diligence.
Right.
Everybody should do a little due diligence before we head to the polls. It would be eye-opening if everybody did.
It is a great point. And I know, Dave, NSSF has their gun vote program, basically saying, look, if you're a gun owner, you need to vote your sport.
Yep, absolutely. For me, it's my litmus test, and I realize people get offended when you say that you have a litmus test for things.
I have no problem with that.
My freedoms are part of what makes America America, and if you want to take them away, then you can't have my vote.
There's nothing else. If you say, okay, I think you should have less freedom. Actually, the quote about from Bill Clinton. He says, when people end up having too much freedom, we have to take it away. That's a true Bill Clinton quote. And you're going, I'm sorry, did he just say what I thought he said? So I remind people, look, last time Hillary was in the White House, we got a 10-year gun ban, and only 10 years because they thought it would be easy to renew it. This time, they'll go back and get their gun ban, and it won't be there won't be a sunset on it. Mm-mm. It will not be. It'll be forever. But honestly, the most important thing is the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Whoever gets elected gets to pick 3, maybe 4 new Supreme Court justices. So it's not a 4 or an 8-year term. It's a 20 or it's a 30-year impact. So it's a 1 or 2 generation of America impact of changing what we think is the law. I don't know that there's a recovery on that.
I don't think so. I think now if judges truly were judges, I think there might be. Mm-hmm. But you can tell it's a vote. It's every one of these decisions has been decided on party lines.
Yes. In
the Supreme Court, and if we lose 2 or 3,
we simply lose it.
We lose our rights.
We lose our rights. And people say, "Oh, we'll still have the Second Amendment." Well, it may still be written in there, but if it doesn't mean what we think it means, if they say, "Well, yes, you have the Second Amendment, but that also means that we can put restrictions on you any way we want to because that falls within it," then we don't really have it.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much. This has been a ton of fun, man.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Matt Craighead, websites.
www.crossbreedholsters.com.
Mossberg.com.
Mossberg.com. Check out the flex system. If you have a Mossberg 500, you can now flex your Mossberg.
Flex your Mossberg.
There you go. You guys have a great week. Be safe out there. We'll see you next time.